Hello everyone, it's another review, and we are going to be looking at this book again from chapter 1 to 10. This book is actually a very interesting book, one of the best books I've read. And this book talks about self image and how that whatsoever thing you achieve today or whatsoever thing you are today, right now, is because of the self image you have. And what we are going to do today is, interestingly, we are going to watch a video. I'm just going to show us a particular video of a lady reviewing this book on Instagram. I just thought to share it, as this is what we are going to start with today, and then I'm going to go into the chapters again. So this is not a book that should be reviewed in a rush, actually.
To hit. So as you're guided, your
So I'm just going to play the video right now so we can watch it, and
brain will
understand from her perspective. I believe that in watching this video, some of the things I've said would be clearer. And when we go into the chapters, gradually, it's going to resonate more. So let's just see this video together. Mm. All right, let's go.
is the book for you. Welcome to Books That Changed My Life, Chapter 1. I'm Alison Trowbridge, author and your favorite neighborhood publisher. This is a book I come back to again and again. I am rereading it at this moment. It is called Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. Now, I would never pick up this book based on the cover. I do judge books by the cover, but this book will literally change your life. It is a classic for a reason. There are three of my biggest takeaways from this book.
So
Number one, your self-image is the ceiling of your life. Maltz says you don't rise to your goals, you fall to your self-image. If you see yourself as someone who plays small and overthinks and holds back, your life will keep reflecting that. Psycho-Cybernetics literally means psycho, the mind, and cybernetics, like calculating and setting onto a goal. Number two, your brain is like a missile that's guided towards a specific end, a specific point it's trying to hit. So as you're guided, your brain will auto-correct in order to hit that goal. It is a guidance system. If you give your brain a clear target, it will start working towards that target subconsciously, on a subconscious level. And what's crazy is that Maltz started his career as a plastic surgeon. And what he saw was, even if he completely altered someone's face or their appearance, it only mattered if they changed their self-image on the inside. Takeaway number three, it's all about visualization. You have to visualize the life that you want in order to lead it. And that idea is not a fluffy idea. It gets really overused, but visualization actually matters. When you imagine practicing something, your brain experiences it as if it's actively happening. The same matters for the things you want most in life. And because your brain can't distinguish from vividly imagined scenes and real ones, you can start rehearsing confidence and success and visualizing calm long before you ever feel it. That is a life-changing practice. This book makes the claim that if you change your self-image on the inside, the rest of your life starts to catch up on the outside.
All right, so it's all about self-image, and now we are going to visit the slide. Okay, I'm just going to switch back to the slide very soon. Let's just turn this off. So it's all about self-image, how you see yourself, the way you see yourself on the inside is definitely going to reflect on the outside. This book actually gave a lot of practical realities to that. So this will imply that if you are always seeing yourself as a loser, no one is actually coming to save you, to ask you to stop seeing yourself as a loser. If you keep seeing yourself as a loser, then unconsciously or subconsciously, some things are just going to start falling in place negatively, and you just wonder, why is this happening, right? So from the first chapter, again, this is actually a book to marinate on the outcome, to think, and not just, this is actually a book I'm not actually reading in a rush, because the moment I read like 5 chapters or 5 pages rather, I tend to think, I tend to create time to just imagine what is it trying to say, right? About self-image, what is it trying to explain? And it's actually so interesting that the moment you start seeing yourself as a particular thing, right, a particular person, someone confident, someone with results, someone carry, right, it will start reflecting unconsciously. So it's all about your self-image. So we saw this in the first 5 chapters. We just compressed it into 4 slides. We say the first idea, which is actually similar to the idea she just shared, right? Your self-image, that's the idea the lady just shared, the video we just watched. So your self-image controls your reality. Okay, wherever you are today definitely is because of your self-image, what you have been thinking and how you believe yourself to be. So your brain doesn't work like you think. It's not about willpower most of the time or motivation. It's about your self-image, how you hold yourself. If you see yourself as broke, you would find reasons to just stay broke. Okay, you see yourself as someone that can't achieve things, you just find reasons not to. You see yourself as lazy, you find reasons to be lazy. You procrastinate. You see yourself as successful, you make move. You see yourself as someone that leads, right? You see yourself as someone that has the ability to cause a change. Then you start seeing that come to pass. And the idea, of course, in chapter 1 to 5, another idea it shows is that your mind can't tell the difference between real or imagined experience. So you should practice success, right? You gave an example, actually gave practical exercises where you just stay back and imagine yourself doing some things. I think someone has showed this to me 6 years ago. Not 6 years ago. Oh my god, this was actually 11 years ago. And you can practice seeing yourself becoming someone. You can practice seeing yourself becoming something. You can visualize it. According to Maxwell Moss, he gave a recommendation that you can actually do that for 30 minutes every day, and you are going to see things change drastically. Spend 5 minutes daily visualizing yourself executing your goals perfectly. Your brain will start believing it's possible. Interesting. This is like a book I just want to keep reviewing. I just want to keep going through. I do not want to stop. It's actually a very interesting book. So he said you should visualize, and this is a reality. You will just see results. He gave several examples of athletes, public speakers, and all that visualize things and they see results. Then the third idea, which is similar to the video we just watched, your brain is a guided missile, right? The way you guide it, that's how it's going to operate. You select your targets, your clear targets, and then your brain is going to lock in and just keep flowing through it. So if your target is to get something, to achieve something, your brain is definitely going to follow it. So this was the third idea, just like the previous video we saw. This is the third idea, and this is exactly how the brain works. It doesn't work any other way. So from the first to the 5th chapter of this book, Psycho-Cybernetics, the author basically just talks about applying self-image. Anything you want to become, it first starts from your mind, from your brain, basically. You know, the author Maxwell Maltz, a plastic surgeon, discovered how self-image can actually cause a lot of change in how people do things and how people see things. So visualizing yourself, according to Maxwell Maltz in the chapters, most of the exercises he gave, he would just recommend 30 minutes. Actually, sometimes he just gives some practical exercise about how to train the brain, so one can actually train his brain to visualize things. And the moment you start training yourself to visualize the positive things, you actually see your brain acting towards achieving those things, and acting subconsciously. Somehow you are going to find solutions. Then the 6th to 10th chapter, like I said, this book is not one that so trying so hard, of course, he in this chapter talks about trying so hard, not trying so hard. Actually, there is just a calm that comes with life that everyone should have. Relaxed and let your success mechanism work. That is when you've trained your brain to think the correct way. There is a way it's going to channel a lot of things towards success. The more you force and worry about things, you will definitely not get results, right? So your forebrain can solve problems. I think that's what it talks about majorly in chapter 6. Just like I said earlier from the video that was presented, there is how the brain works. Basically, this book talks about how you think, your self-image, the way you see yourself. And Maxwell Maltz actually changed my perception about surgery a lot when it comes to, because he is also a plastic surgeon. He has given several instances of how people who try to perform surgery on their nose, after that they just gain confidence. But he then discovered that some persons would not still be confident, and then came to the conclusion from several research that the self-image and the way someone thinks, the brain has a lot to do with how someone is definitely going to be successful. And so most of this chapter still boils down to training the mind to visualize things the right way, right? Training the mind to visualize things the right way. So in chapter 6, it talks about, of course, the forebrain and success mechanism. So sometimes what you might be doing is you are just consciously forcing solutions, worrying about every detail and all of that, but you should just train your mind towards getting solution. I think in the next chapter we'll also see examples of people that definitely had solutions without necessarily worrying too much, right? He then spoke about this, of course, also in chapter 7. Creative ideas, the best ideas come when you are not trying, as we saw earlier in the previous episode. And we saw, of course, the paradox of performance. He talked about skilled pianists, how they do not worry too much, right? So basically this book is one that I'm actually taking slowly. Of course, in the last chapter 10, we still have 5 chapters to go. He wrote a lot about nervousness doesn't mean negativity, and it's not something you should run from. So we are just going to watch the video again. I just stumbled on this video randomly, and it says a lot about the book. So we are going to see the video again, watch it, and then we are going to conclude on today's episode on this great book, Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. Let's do this.
Changed my life. That's why I'm reading it again.
So she said she's reading
and
it
I highly
again.
recommend you read it too.
And it's a book
Follow
I
along
actually
for
can't
chapter
just
2.
review in a rush because of how interesting it is.
If your life isn't matching your potential, then this is the book for you. Welcome to Books That Changed My Life, Chapter 1. I'm Allison Trowbridge, author and your favorite neighborhood publisher. This is a book I come back to again and again. I am rereading it at this moment. It is called Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. Now, I would never pick up this book based on the cover. I do judge books by the cover, but this book will literally change your life. It is a classic for a reason. There are 3 of my biggest takeaways from this book. Number 1, your self-image is the ceiling of your life. Maltz says you don't rise to your goals, you fall to your self-image. If you see yourself as someone who plays small and overthinks and holds back, your life will keep reflecting that. Psycho-Cybernetics literally means psycho, the mind, and cybernetics, like calculating and setting onto a goal. Mechanism. Number 2, your brain is like a missile that's guided towards a specific end, a specific point it's trying to hit. So as you're guided, your brain will auto-correct in order to hit that goal. It is a guidance system. If you give your brain a clear target, it will start working towards that target subconsciously, on a subconscious level. And what's crazy is that Maltz started his career as a plastic surgeon. And what he saw was even if he completely altered someone's face or their appearance, it only mattered if they changed their self-image on the inside. Takeaway number 3, it's all about visualization. You have to visualize the life that you want in order to lead it. And that idea is not a fluffy idea. It gets really overused, but visualization actually matters. When you imagine practicing something, your brain experiences it as if it's actively happening. The same matters for the things you want most in life. And because your brain can't distinguish from vividly imagined scenes and real ones, you can start rehearsing confidence and success and visualizing calm.
I think that's actually going to be the end of this session. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to see you in the next episode.